In this particular video, we are going to study the structure and reproduction in the bacteria. They are unicellular and they are prokaryotes. When I say the prokaryotes, you must have known this. The prokaryotic means those organisms which do not have the true nucleus. Early nucleus or the less developed nucleus is present in the bacteria or the prokaryotes, and that is why these bacteria or the prokaryotes considered as an ancient organisms. Okay, ये ancient organisms समझे जाते हैं as compared to the higher plants and animals, because higher plants and animals are come under the eukaryotes and they possess the well developed nucleus, but on the other hand the prokaryote do not possess the well developed nucleus. For that we have the example of a bacteria. Again, this is our syllabus, that is the microbiology and the plant pathology. In that we are studying the structure and reproduction in the bacteria now. Okay, we have completed the viruses and the viroids. Now we are studying the bacteria. Okay, let's consider the structure of the bacteria. See, the bacteria, its singular is bacterium. Okay, are among the smallest organisms. Okay, it is one of the smallest organisms because bacteria are the unicellular cells. That means there is a complete cell present. If one, but it is complete cell, and whenever there is a complete cell, we say that the cell is a living cell or it's a living organism. Because before this lecture what we have studied is the viruses and the viroids. Both do not possess any cellular structure. For the very first time we are studying the cellular structure, that is cell. They are the unicellular and they contain the one cell. They do not have multicellularity, but whatever they contain is a one cell, and this one cell is responsible for performing all the life activities relating with that bacteria. That is structural and functional. All the functions are carried out by this single cell, and the metabolism, reproduction, and the enzyme activity, all the processes of the metabolism takes place within this single cell, and that is why we consider this cell as a living cell. Before this, the viruses and viroids are not the living cells because they actually do not possess the cell. That is why we are calling them as acellular. But the bacteria are cellular because they contain the one cell. They are unicellular, but they has a complete one cell there, and this one cell is capable of performing all the life activities relating with the life cycle of bacteria. Now, they are mostly primitive. Why we are calling them primitive? Because they are the earlier organisms which arose on the earth. Okay. Now, when there is a creation of life on the earth, the first forms were created were the prokaryotes, in that the bacteria, and that is why they are quite primitive as compared to the eukaryotic organisms. Now they are primitive plus they are simple. Why they are simple? Because they do not show any membrane bound organelles like the eukaryotes. Because in a eukaryotes you will find the mitochondria, you will find the chloroplast, you will find the nucleus. All these membrane bound organelles are present in the eukaryotes, but bacteria, that is the prokaryotes, do not have any type of these organelles. Whether it's a mitochondria, chloroplast, or nucleus, all these membrane bound organelles are typically absent in the prokaryotes, or say for that matter bacteria. Bacteria में mitochondria, chloroplast, nucleus, all these ये जो membrane bound organelles है, ये सारे absent होते हैं, and that's why we are calling them as a simple, because this shows the very simple structure. There is a cell, there is a cell wall, there is a membrane, and inside we have cytoplasm and the naked DNA, plus some ribosomes are there, and some particular structures which are only present in the bacteria are there. And that is why we consider them as a primitive plus the simple. And the unicellular, that is they possess only a one kind of cell, one cell. एक ही सेल होने के कारण, if there is a presence of only one cell and that one cell only constitute the whole bacterium, then we call them as a unicellular organism. Okay, if any organism is consist of only one cell, then it is called as the unicellular organism. Some of the plants which belongs to the algae, they also are unicellular, but they are photosynthetic, and that is why they were placed in the eukaryotes. Okay, because they possess the membrane bound organelle like mitochondria, chloroplast, and nucleus. So the unicellularity is not restricted to the bacteria only; it is also extended towards the plant kingdom, also to the animal kingdom as well. But they shows the certain types of the membrane bound organelle like mitochondria, chloroplast, and the nucleus, and that is why they are placed under the eukaryotic organism, right? So they are prokaryotic and the microscopic organisms. All the bacteria are structurally relatively homogeneous. Okay, if you consider any bacteria, they all are homogeneous. Homogeneous literally means there is a structural similarity between them. Okay, structurally सारे बैक्टीरिया नियरली एक जैसे होते हैं, और नियरली एक जैसे होने का रीजन क्या है? उसका रीजन ये है कि उनका इवोल्यूशन जो है वो एक साथ ही हुआ है, because all these unicellular prokaryotic bacteria are evolved at the same time. That is why possess the same structural homogeneous structures. Now consider the next point. Now see the bacterial occurrence. Let's consider from where these bacteria occur. Okay, what is their habitat? कहाँ पे वो मिलते हैं? See, they are in the air, they are in the water, they are in the soil, and they are inside the other organisms as well. E. coli is the bacterium which is present in our stomach. So there are many kinds of bacteria which are present in the different kinds of animals. They are found in the air, they are found in the water, they are found in the soil. This literally constitute the whole ecosystem, right? So you can say that the bacteria are the omnipresent. E. coli is the bacterium which is present in our stomach. So there are many kinds of bacteria which are present in the different kinds of animals. They are found in the air, they are found in the water, they are found in the soil. This literally constitute the whole ecosystem, right? So you can say that the bacteria are the omnipresent. That is, they are present everywhere. Okay, you will not find any area which is bacteria free. Actually, Antarctic, where there is a no life is found, there also bacteria is found. Now let us consider the nutrition. What is the food of this bacteria? What is the nutrition of this bacteria? Say they lead either autotrophic, that is photoautotropic, or the chemoautotropic. Photoautotropic and chemoautotropic, these are two words are used for those bacteria, also for those organisms which can prepare their own food. In the photo, they create their own food by using the sunlight, and in chemo, they use their they create their own food by using the certain types of chemicals. There are certain bacteria which can create their own food by using the sunlight. See, like blue-green algae. These blue-green algae are popularly called as cyanobacteria. Okay, these cyanobacteria possess the chloroplast, and these cyanobacteria which possess the chloroplast can create their own food by using their sunlight, and that is why they are called as the photoautotropic. So nutrition-wise, the bacteria can be photoautotropic, then they can be the chemoautotropic. That is, they create their own food by using certain types of chemicals. Or they may be heterotrophic. Heterotrophic means they are dependent on the other organism for their food. Okay, वो उनके फूड के लिए किसी अगर और ऑर्गेनिज्म पे डिपेंडेंट है तो उसे हेटेरोट्रॉपिक कहते हैं. अगर आप ह्यूमंस की बात करते हो तो ह्यूमंस आर आल्सो हेटेरोट्रॉपिक. व्हाई ह्यूमंस आर हेटेरोट्रॉपिक? बिकॉज़ ह्यूमंस कैन नॉट प्रिपेयर देयर ओन फूड. They are dependent on the other organism for their food. For example, the plants and animals. We often eat the plant-based food and the animal-based food, and these foods are coming from the other organism, and that is why humans are also the heterotrophic. So does the bacteria. Bacteria जो होते हैं वो भी heterotrophic होते हैं, chemotropic भी हो सकते हैं, autotrophic भी हो सकते हैं. Now they also shows the saprotrophic or the parasitic habitat as well. Saprophytic meaning they are grow on the dead and decaying matter. Okay, dead and decaying matter पे जब वो grow करते हैं, then we call them as a saprotrophic. They may show the photoautotropic habitat, chemoautotropic habitat, or the heterotrophic type of nutrition, saprotrophic type of nutrition, or the parasitic type of mode of existence, right? So this is how the nutrition in the bacteria can be varied. Okay, bacteria में जो nutrition होता है वो बहुत varied होता है, autotrophic से लेके parasite तक वो हो सकते हैं. Okay, this shows the very high metabolic rate. Now consider this point, very very important, because they absorb their nutrients directly through the cell membranes. Now see, if the food material or the food resource is present around them, they shows the very high metabolic rate. Okay, our metabolic rate is not even comparable with the bacterial metabolic rate, because bacteria from the earlier of their life shows the very high metabolic rate, because this is the requirement to be survive on the earth at that time. Because high metabolic rate shows that you can multiply very faster. Okay, you must have heard that the bacteria can multiply in a very speedy way. Bacteria जो होते हैं वो speed से multiply कर सकते हैं. And how they do that? Because they possess the very high metabolic rate. They can absorb the nutrient directly through their cell membranes. For example, see this bacteria, and if in the surrounding the food is present, okay, now this food is rapidly absorbed by these bacteria through their cell membrane. Okay, and through their cell membrane the food material goes inside the cell, and they rapidly use this food material for the various life sources and create the multiple copies within a very short period of time. अगर आप देखोगे कि बैक्टीरिया जो है कुछ मिलियंस तक अगर वो पहुंच जाते हैं विद इन आवर्स, अगर कुछ आवर्स के लिए उनको अच्छा फूड मिल जाए, सो दे क्रिएट देयर मिलियंस ऑफ कॉपीज. right? How they are able to do such a thing? Because they possess the very high metabolic rate, and due to the presence of this very high metabolic rate, they shows the very high reproduction rate as well. And how they absorb the nutrients? They absorb the nutrients directly through the cell membrane. Now they multiply at a very rapid rate. Just we have discussed why they are multiplied at a very rapid rate, because they shows the very high metabolic rate. Then in a consequence, due to their high metabolic rate and a fast rate of multiplication, these bacteria produce marked changes in the environment in a very short period of time. Now mark changes in their immediate surrounding. How they are able to produce such a marked changes in their immediate surrounding? Because their number is too high to be ignored. Okay, अगर किसी एनवायरमेंट में अगर वो पहुंच जाए और उनको एक फूड रिसोर्स मिल जाए, तो वो इतनी जल्दी मल्टीप्लिकेशन करके खुद का नंबर बढ़ा लेते हैं कि सराउंडिंग में वो अपने प्रेजेंस की वजह से चेंजेस लेके आ जाते हैं वहां पे. इतनी जल्दी प्लांट्स या फिर एनिमल्स मल्टीप्लाई नहीं हो सकते. बट द बैक्टीरिया possess this remarkable capability in which they can create their huge number and can cause the changes in their immediate environment in a very short period of time. And how they achieve that? Because of their high metabolic rate. And due to this high metabolic rate and high multiplication rate, they can create their millions number, and they can create the changes in their immediate environment in a very short period of time. Let's talk about their shape and size, because bacteria are famously classified into the 4 shapes. ठीक है ना. बैक्टीरिया इस बारे में ये बैक्टीरिया क्लासिफिकेशन बड़ा फेमस है कि उनके शेप और साइज के हिसाब से उनको 4 टाइप में डिवाइड किया जाता है. See, they may vary greatly in the shape and size. The 4 basic shapes in the bacteria are the bacillus. First is the bacillus, which are the rod shape. Okay, you can observe here are the bacillus bacteria, and these shows the rod-like shapes. Then there is a coccus bacteria, which are the spherical shapes. Right, these are the coccus bacteria, and this shows the spherical shape. Then there is a Vibrio bacteria. This shows the comma shape. These bacteria are like this. This shows the comma shape, and these are called as the Vibrio. And finally, there are the Spirillum, that is spiral-like bacteria. These are the Spiralia, right? They are showing spiral-like shape. So bacteria, according to shape, are divided into the 4 basic shapes. First is the Bacillus, second is the Coccus, third is the Vibrio, and fourth is the Spirillum. Consider them one by one, because we have to write down the examples. Okay, cocci. Just we have discussed that these are the spherical shape. Okay, these bacterial cells occur singly. Okay, see, there are the single bacteria and they occur singly. These coccus bacteria. Okay, sometimes they also occur in a pairs, just like this. Okay, they occur in a pairs. Then it's called as the diplococci. Then, for example, pneumonia causing bacteria, then Diplococcus pneumoniae, and in a groups of the 4, that is tetracocci. That is 4. Sometimes they occur like this, and then they are called as the tetracocci. If they are occur like this in a pair, they are called diplococci. And if they occur singly, then they are called as the micrococci. Okay, so micrococci, diplococci, and the tetracocci. In the cubical arrangement of the 8 or more, okay, that is called as the Sericini. See, just like that, the 8 bacteria come together. This shape is called as the Sericini. Okay, sometimes they occur in 8 or more in numbers, and sometimes they are also irregular clumps resembling the bunches of the grapes. जैसे grapes होते हैं, उसी तरह से वो bunches में ऐसे दिखाई देते हैं. Okay, जैसे स्टेफालोकोका है. स्टेफाइलोकोका बैक्टीरिया इस प्रकार से दिखता है. ओके, वहां पे कोई फिक्स नंबर नहीं है, 2, 4, 8 नंबर नहीं है, लेकिन वो ऐसे ग्रेप्स के जैसे दिखते हैं जब वो एक साथ आते हैं. उसका एग्जांपल है फेमस स्टेफालोकोकाई, which is the boil causing bacterium, and Staphylococcus aureus or in the bead like chain. Sometimes bead like chains में भी वो दिखते हैं, just like this. They create the chains. Cocci bacteria shows the varied forms. Okay, sometimes they occur singly, sometimes in a pair, sometimes in a tetrad, sometimes in a octrad, and sometimes in grapes-like structure. Okay, then for example, streptococci, for example, sore throat causing bacterium, Streptococcus progens. Okay, so this type of varied forms can be found in this one type of cocci bacteria. Now, second is the bacilli. Now, bacilli, as we have discussed, they are rod-like. Okay, we have observed here they are rod-like bacteria, and they generally occur singly. Okay, generally how they occur? They generally occur singly, but occasionally, sometimes they are found in a pairs. Then they are called as the diplobacilli. Okay, or sometimes they may also occur in a chain. Then they are called as the streptobacilli. Okay, so the bacilli cause the certain most notorious diseases in the man, such as the tuberculosis, that is Mycobacterium or the Bacillus tuberculosis. This bacteria belongs to the bacilli. Okay, they possess the rod-like shape. They make they come in a single form or in a pairs or in a chains, and they cause the very notorious diseases in the humans. There are tuberculosis, that is called TB, and then tetanus, which is caused by the Clostridium tetani. Then typhoid, which is caused by the Salmonella or Bacillus typhosus. Right? All these bacteria are belongs to the bacilli, and bacilli may come in a single organism, or they may come in a pair of organism, और दे में कम इन अ चेन. ओके, उनका चेन भी हो सकता है, ऐसा एक रॉड होता है, दूसरा रॉड होता है, तीसरा रॉड होता है और चौथा रॉड होता है. इस तरह से वो चेन भी बना सकते हैं. और they can come singly or they can be in a pairs. Okay, and cause the various diseases in the humans like tuberculosis, tetanus and the typhoids. Okay, see, the third one is the spirilla. Spirilla is singular spirillum, and these are also called as the spirochetes. Okay, these are spiral shaped and the motile bacteria. Okay, what is the meaning of motile? That they has the ability to move their self from one place to the another place. Okay, so they are the spiral shape and they can move from one place to another place, and that's why they are called as the motile. While the spirilla causes the human disease such as the syphilis. Okay, syphilis नाम का जो डिसीज है जो ह्यूमंस में होता है वो स्पाइरुला की वजह से होता है, which belongs to the spirilla shaped microorganisms or the bacteriums. Okay, now the fourth one are the vibrios, which are the comma shape. Okay, these are comma shape or the bent rod like bacteria. These vibrios cause disease in the humans such as the cholera. Okay, so the cholera is disease caused by the Vibrio cholerae, this bacterium. Okay, so they possess the comma like shape, and they also shows the diseases in the human in the form of cholera. Cholera is caused by the bacterium which is called as the Vibrio cholerae. So here we have discussed the four shapes and the various subtypes of these four shapes and which disease they cause in the humans. Okay, now after seeing the shape and size, now we will study the typical characteristic which is shown by the bacteria. See, all the bacteria have the cell wall. Okay, now please remember that these cell walls which are present in the bacteria often confuse the student about their presence. Okay, why this happens? Because the plants possess the cell walls. Okay, they possess the cell wall. Then animals, they do not possess the cell wall. Okay, they do not any kind of cell wall. The fungi possess the cell wall. Okay, and the bacteria, they also possess the cell wall. So basically you should remember, except from the animals, all the plants, fungi and the bacteria possess the cell wall. Okay, so here you can observe this is the cell wall of this bacteria. Okay, so cell wall is typically present in all the bacteria. Okay, the fluid matrix filling the cell is the cytoplasm. Okay, inside the cell wall, if you observe this fluid is called as the cytoplasm, which is present inside the सेल वॉल. ओके, सेल वॉल के अंदर जो भी कुछ फ्लूइड होता है, इस फ्लूइड को क्या बोला जाता है? ओके, इसको बोला जाता है साइटोप्लाज्म. एंड देयर इज अ नो वेल डिफाइंड न्यूक्लियस. ओके, इफ यू केयरफुली ऑब्जर्व दिस सेल, देयर इज अ नो न्यूक्लियस. वहां पे कोई न्यूक्लियस नहीं है. तो अगर न्यूक्लियस नहीं है तो फिर जेनेटिक मटेरियल कहां पे है? क्योंकि जब आप यूकैरियोटिक सेल देखते हो तो यूकैरियोटिक सेल में हम क्या बोलते हैं कि न्यूक्लियस है, और न्यूक्लियस के अंदर क्या है? जेनेटिक मटेरियल है, डीएनए. तो फिर अगर न्यूक्लियस ही नहीं है तो फिर इनका जेनेटिक मटेरियल कहां पे है? द जेनेटिक मटेरियल इज बेसिकली नेकेड. देखिए, इनका जेनेटिक मटेरियल जो होता है ये बिल्कुल नेकेड होता है, ये कवर नहीं होता है न्यूक्लियस से, ये बस साइटोप्लाज्म में ऐसे सीधा पड़ा हुआ है. देखिए यहाँ पे अगर आप देखोगे तो इट्स अ डीएनए. ठीक है, ये डीएनए है और ये न्यूक्लियस के अंदर नहीं है, ये सीधे सीधे साइटोप्लाज्म में पड़ा है. अगर आप यूकैरियोटिक सेल देखोगे तो यूकैरियोटिक सेल में आपको समझ में आएगा कि अगर जो साइटोप्लाज्म बाहर होता है, साइटोप्लाज्म के कांटेक्ट में जेनेटिक मटेरियल कभी नहीं आता है. जेनेटिक मटेरियल जो होता है, दिस इज सेफली प्रेजेंट इनसाइड द न्यूक्लियस, एंड इनसाइड द न्यूक्लियस वी हैव द न्यूक्लियोप्लाज्म, नॉट द साइटोप्लाज्म. सो in the eukaryotes, the genetic material cannot come in contact with the cytoplasm, but it is in contact with the nucleoplasm only. But in the prokaryotes, the genetic material is present in the cytoplasm itself. Okay, वहां पे कोई बाउंड्री नहीं है. कोई बाउंड्री ना होने की वजह से जो है यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है कि वो सीधे सीधे साइटोप्लाज्म के कांटेक्ट में आ रहा है. सो दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एंड द बेसिक डिफरेंस बिटवीन द प्रोकैरियोट्स एंड द यूकैरियोट्स. ओके, इट इज नॉट इन्वॉल्व्ड बाय द न्यूक्लियर मेम्ब्रेन. वहां पे न्यूक्लियर मेम्ब्रेन नहीं होती है, एंड दिस इज सिंपली नेकेड डीएनए. ठीक है, यहाँ पे नेकेड डीएनए वो होता है. सो द बैक्टीरिया possess सेल वॉल. ओके, इनसाइड द सेल वॉल दे possess द साइटोप्लाज्म. वहां पे कोई न्यूक्लियस नहीं है, जेनेटिक मटेरियल जो है वो नेकेड होता है, न्यूक्लियर मेम्ब्रेन उसे बाउंड नहीं करता है. बैक्टीरिया जो है वो सेल वॉल उनको होती है, सेल वॉल के अंदर क्या होता है, इट्स साइटोप्लाज्म, इनसाइड साइटोप्लाज्म देयर इज नो न्यूक्लियस, न्यूक्लियस ना होने के कारण जेनेटिक मटेरियल जो होता है उनका डीएनए वो सीधा सीधा फ्लोट करता है साइटोप्लाज्म में, और उनको उसके लिए कोई न्यूक्लियर मेम्ब्रेन वहां पे नहीं है, राइट। नाउ सी, इन एडिशन टू द जीनोमिक डबल स्टैंडर्ड डीएनए, ठीक है, वहां पे जो डबल स्टैंडर्ड डीएनए तो होता ही है, ठीक है, जैसे प्रीवियस पिक्चर में आप यहाँ पे देखिए कि यहाँ पे डबल स्टैंडर्ड मेन उसका डीएनए है, ठीक है, ये डीएनए तो है ही वहां पे, बट विद दिस डीएनए डबल स्टैंडर्ड डीएनए द सिंगल क्रोमोसोम सर्कुलर डीएनए, दिस डीएनए इज नॉट बाउंड विद द बेसिक प्रोटीन्स, ओके, वहां पे एक एडिशनल डीएनए होता है, इस एडिशनल डीएनए को बोला जाता है प्लाज्मिड्स, ओके, ये वर्ड आपने जरूर सुना होगा। बैक्टीरियल डीएनए के साथ साथ वहां पे प्लाज्मिड्स भी होते हैं, दीज आर आल्सो द डीएनए and these are called as the single chromosome or the circular DNA. You can observe in this particular picture, these are the circular DNA, actually these are extra chromosomal, मतलब क्रोमोसोम को क्रोमोसोमल जो डीएनए होता है बैक्टीरिया का वो डीएनए छोड़ के यहाँ पे एक और डीएनए होता है जिनको बोला जाता है प्लाज्मिड। नाउ सी, मेनी बैक्टीरिया हैव दिस स्मॉल सर्कुलर डीएनए आउटसाइड द जीनोमिक डीएनए, जो मेन डीएनए होता है उसको बोला जाता है जीनोमिक डीएनए, बट ये जीनोमिक डीएनए छोड़ के ये अगर ये जो डीएनए है जीनोमिक डीएनए इसको अगर छोड़ दिया जाए तो वहां पे एक और डीएनए होता है जिसको बोला जाता है प्लाज्मिड, दिस स्मॉलर डीएनए आर कॉल्ड एज द प्लाज्मिड। ये जो स्मॉलर डीएनए स्मॉल सर्कुलर एक्स्ट्रा क्रोमोसोमल जो डीएनए होते हैं इनको क्या बोला जाता है, इनको बोला जाता है प्लाज्मिड्स। नाउ दिस प्लाज्मिड्स, अब इन प्लाज्मिड्स का फंक्शन क्या है, मतलब एक जो मेन डीएनए वो डीएनए छोड़ के वहां पे प्लाज्मिड भी है, बट व्हाट इज द फंक्शन ऑफ दिस प्लाज्मिड, व्हाई डू वी हैव सम एक्स्ट्रा डीएनए, सी these plasmids confer certain unique phenotypic characters to such a bacteria. One such a character is resistance to the antibiotics. Now see, very important function is done by these plasmids in the bacteria. What they provide resistance against the antibiotics. As you know कि हम अगर कभी डिसीज कंडीशन में अगर हम आ जाते हैं तो अगर बैक्टीरियल इन्फेक्शन अगर हमें हुआ है, अगर बैक्टीरियल डिसीज वो है तो हम एंटीबायोटिक लेते हैं। एंटीबायोटिक हम क्यों लेते हैं, ताकि हम उसको किल कर सके उस बैक्टीरिया को। लेकिन बैक्टीरिया जो होते हैं उनके पास ऐसे प्लाज्मिड होते हैं कि ये प्लाज्मिड डीएनए उनको एंटीबायोटिक के खिलाफ खुद को रेजिस्ट करने की पावर प्रोवाइड करते हैं। This plasmid is nothing but extra chromosomal circular DNA. And why it is present in the bacteria? What is the purpose? What is the function of this plasmid? The function of this plasmid is to provide resistance against the antibiotics. This is one of the function. Okay, the plasmid DNA performs various other functions as well, but the very much important function is to provide the resistance against the antibiotic. Okay, so no organelles like the ones in the eukaryotes are found in the bacterial cell except the ribosomes. See, we have discussed this earlier. The eukaryotes shows the many membrane bound organelles, but the prokaryotes do not show any membrane bound organelle. Now compare this diagram. This is the eukaryotic cell and this is the prokaryotic cell. Now observe in the eukaryotic cell, this is the mitochondria. Mitochondria is present. Then there is a membrane enclosed nucleus. Nucleus is also present. There is a nucleolus inside the nucleus. So all the membrane bound organelle plus the endoplasmic reticulum, all these complex organisms are present in the eukaryotic cell. But on the other hand, the prokaryotic cell, see, which is the bacterial cell, there is no mitochondria, there is no chloroplast, there is no endoplasmic reticulum, there is no presence of nucleus. What it has? Only ribosomes. Ribosomes are present on both the sides. That is, in the eukaryote, they possess the ribosomes. As in the prokaryotes, they also possess the ribosomes. Okay, so ribosomes are present in the prokaryote as well as in the eukaryote, although they are different. The ribosomes which are found in the eukaryote are different, and ribosomes which are found in the prokaryotes are different. Okay, but what is the meaning of this point? The membrane bound organelles like nucleus, mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, chloroplast are only present in the eukaryotes and not in the prokaryotes. So bacterial cell completely lack these membrane bound organelles. What is the common point between the eukaryote and the prokaryote is that the ribosomes are present in both the cells. दोनों cells में ribosomes होते हैं. Bacteria possess something unique in the form of inclusions. Okay, so a specialized differentiated form of a cell membrane called mesosome is the characteristic feature of the prokaryotes. See, the prokaryotes जो होते हैं, these are prokaryotes, shows the characteristic inclusions in the form of mesosomes. Now, what are the mesosomes? These mesosomes are present in the prokaryotes and they are essentially infoldings of the cell membrane, that is the plasma membrane. देखिए, बैक्टीरिया जो होते हैं बैक्टीरिया अगर फॉर एग्जांपल ये यूनिसेलुलर बैक्टीरिया है इस प्रकार से, और अंदर इसके प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन है, तो ये जो प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन है या फिर जो सेल मेम्ब्रेन है, ये क्या करती है, ऐसी इनफोल्डिंग दिखाती है अंदर के साइड में, फ्रॉम इनसाइड इट शोज द इनफोल्डिंग लाइक दिस। तो ये जो इनफोल्डिंग होती है विच इज प्रेजेंट इनसाइड ऑफ दिस सेल इज कॉल्ड एज द मेसोसोम्स। यहाँ पे अगर आप देखोगे कुछ बाहर से जो है इट्स अ सेल वॉल, ओके, विच इज लेबल्ड हियर, और अंदर से ये जो है ये प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन है, ठीक है, यहाँ पे देखिए लेबल किया है ये प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन, और ये जो प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन है ये अंदर इनफोल्ड हो गई है, अंदर फोल्ड हो रही है वो इस प्रकार से, ऐसा फोल्डिंग होके वो बैक वहां पे कनेक्ट हो रही है टू द प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन। तो ये जो इनफोल्डिंग है प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन की, इसको बोला जाता है मेसोसोम्स, एंड दीज मेसोसोम्स वी कैन नॉट फाइंड देम इन द यूकैरियोट। यूकैरियोट में मेसोसोम्स नहीं होते हैं, दीज आर ओनली प्रेजेंट इन द प्रोकैरियोट्स। सो देयर आर सर्टेन कैरेक्टरिस्टिक और देयर आर समथिंग स्ट्रक्चरल एस्पेक्ट्स which are only present in the prokaryotes and not in the eukaryotes. So mesosomes, which are nothing but the infoldings of the cell membrane, जो बस सेल मेम्ब्रेन की इनफोल्डिंग्स है, ये बस ओनली हमें देखने को मिलती है प्रोकैरियोट्स में, और यूकैरियोट्स में हमें देखने को नहीं मिलती है। ओके, तो मेसोसोम ये जो स्ट्रक्चर है ये आपको याद रखना है। मेसोसोम क्या है? दीज आर नथिंग बट द इनफोल्डिंग्स ऑफ दिस सेल मेम्ब्रेन। सेल मेम्ब्रेन की ये इनफोल्डिंग्स होती है, और इनफोल्डिंग्स जो होती है ये सेल मेम्ब्रेन की, इनको ही क्या बोला जाता है? मेसोसोम्स। वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट स्ट्रक्चर। नाउ सी अ स्पेशल मेम्ब्रेनस स्ट्रक्चर is the mesosome, which is formed by the extensions of the plasma membrane into the cell. Now these extensions are in the form of vesicles, tubules and the lamellae. Now observe this, these bigger extensions outside, these are called as the lamellae. Okay, and here you can observe the form of a formation of a tubular structure. These tubular structures are called as the tubules. In a very similar way, there is a formation of a vesicle like structure like these. These vesicle like structures are called as the vesicles. So they may form the vesicle, they may form the tubules, or they may form lamellae like this. This bigger picture is called as the lamellae. Okay, ये जो bigger form हो रहे extensions आ रहे हैं, इनको lamellae बोला जाता है। Sometimes rounded structure form होते हैं, it's called tubule, and sometimes वहाँ पे vesicle like structure तैयार होती है, then that is called as the vesicles. Creating the mesosomes, then what is the function of these mesosomes? Why they are created? Why this structure is present in the prokaryotes? What is the meaning? What is the purpose of this mesosome? See, they help in the cell wall formation. Okay, outside there is a cell wall, and for the formation of this cell walls, this mesosome helps. Okay, then DNA replication and distribution of the daughter cell. देखिए, DNA का replication, if there is a formation, if there is a splitting of the bacterial cell into two, that is from one cell to two cell, one cell to two bacterial cell, अगर वहाँ पे form होते हैं, then there should be the DNA replication, so that the DNA should be equally distributed between the two cells. So these mesosomes helps to replicate the DNA and distribute these DNA equally into the daughter cells. Okay, they also helps in the respiration because they possess certain kind of enzymes which are used in the respiration, and these are present on the mesosomes. These enzymes are present on the mesosomes. Then they helps in the secretion process to increase the surface area. देखिए, अगर आप यहाँ पे carefully observe करो, if you observe carefully, due to the formation of these infoldings are help in increasing the surface area for the plasma membrane. Okay, plasma membrane का extension होने की वजह से, see how this occurs. See, this is the bacterial cell and this is the plasma membrane. Now see, observe the surface area of the plasma membrane. It starts from here and you can say that it ends here. But what happens if the plasma membrane has the infolding like this, like mesosome? Now if you count the plasma membrane surface area, you have to go through like this. So this will increase greatly the surface area of the plasma membrane, right? So plus the enzymatic content, just we have discussed that respiratory enzymes are present on the these mesosomes. So they helps in respiration, they helps in secretion, and they also increase the surface area. So what is the function of these mesosomes? Is they work in a cell wall formation. They help in DNA replication and distribution of DNA to daughter cells. Then in respiration, then the secretion process, and to increase the surface area, right? So all these are the functions of the mesosomes, right? See, in the cyanobacteria, cyanobacteria जो होते हैं उसमें special kinds के ये मिलते हैं mesosomes. These are mesosomes are the other membrane extensions into the cytoplasm and called as the chromatophores, which contains the pigment. See, when the mesosomes contains the pigments, then they are called as the chromatophores. Okay, chroma means color. Okay, they in a cyanobacteria, these mesosomes are popularly called as chromatophores because they contain the pigment in there. They are colorful, and that is why they are called as the chromatophores. What we have learned from these two slides is that the bacteria possess the infoldings of their plasma membrane, which are nothing but called as mesosomes, and these mesosomes are infoldings of the plasma membrane, which are maybe in the form of lamellae, which are maybe in the form of tubules, which are maybe in the form of vesicles. Now, these membranous infoldings helps in the cell wall formation, DNA replication, distribution of DNA to daughter cells in the process of respiration, in the secretion processes. It also increases the surface area, right? It also has the very high enzymatic content. So all these structural features we are discussing for the bacteria. Now see the next. The most prokaryotic cell, particularly the bacterial cells, have the chemically complex cell envelope. Okay. They possess the cell envelope around their cell. That is, their cell is covered with this envelope. The bacterial cell specifically possess very chemically complex cell envelope. Now see the cell envelope किस किस से बना है? The cell envelope consists of tightly bound three-layered structure. That is, the formation of cell envelope happens due to the three-layered structure. That is the outermost called the glycocalyx. सबसे बाहर वाली जो layer होती है, it is called as the glycocalyx. Then followed by the cell wall. Okay, in the middle, what we have the cell wall, and inside then we have the plasma membrane. So glycocalyx outside, in the middle cell wall, and inside we have the plasma membrane. So glycocalyx, cell wall, and the plasma membrane, these are three structures combinedly called as the cell envelope. It is made up of the three layers: the glycocalyx, the cell wall, and the plasma membrane. The glycocalyx is the outermost one, outside one. Cell wall present in between the glycocalyx and the plasma membrane, and the plasma membrane present inside the cell. So glycocalyx, cell wall, and the plasma membrane, these are three structures together constitute the cell envelope in the bacterial cell. See, all through each layer of the envelope performs the distinct function. They act together as a single protective unit. As you know, the glycocalyx, it has their own function. Cell wall also has its own function, and plasma membrane also possesses its own function. But all these layers, when combined together, they are called as the cell envelope, and then they perform the single common function. That is, they work as a single protective unit. Okay, because they are forming the outer boundary of the cell. See, this is the bacterial cell. Outside there is a layer of the glycocalyx. Okay, and inside the glycocalyx we have the cell wall, and inside the cell wall we have the plasma membrane. So now you can observe this. This is the very thick and complex structure which is created by using these three layers. Now these three layers are very rigid and the compact, and these three layers provide the combined protective function to the bacteria. Because bacteria is the unicellular organism. Okay, एक ही single cell होता है. This a single cell is protected by the very strong single protective unit. Okay. Now see, the bacteria can be classified into the two groups on the basis of differences in the cell envelope. Okay, just we have discussed about the cell envelope, and the cell envelope consists of the glycocalyx, cell wall, and the plasma membrane. So these are three layers when constitute the cell envelope. This cell envelope is not similar in the every kind of bacteria. हर बैक्टीरिया में ये जो सेल इन्वॉल्व होता है वो एक जैसा नहीं होता है, and due to this variation in the cell envelope, the bacteria can be classified into the two groups. And plus the second criteria used here is their response to the staining procedure developed by the Christian Gram. Okay, so the very first criteria is their cell envelope. Okay, first criteria क्या है कि cell envelope कैसा है. दूसरा क्राइटेरिया क्या है कि वहां पे वो ग्राम स्ट्रेनिंग को विच इज डेवलप बाय द क्रिश्चियन ग्राम को रिस्पॉन्स करते हैं या नहीं करते हैं. सो वेदर बैक्टीरिया हैज विच टाइप ऑफ सेल इन्वॉल्व, एंड सेकंडली whether it is response give restraining procedure which is developed by the Christian Gram. The bacteria are classified into the two major groups. You must have heard about this, that those that take up the Gram strain are called as the Gram positive bacteria. These are called example for this is the Bacillus subtilis and Staphylococcus, etc. And the others which do not show any response towards the Gram staining is called as the Gram negative bacteria. For example, the Escherichia coli and Salmonella. Okay. So, gram-positive bacteria and the gram-negative bacteria. The bacteria can be classified into two groups. The very first is the gram-positive bacteria, and second is the gram-negative bacteria. Now, how we are classifying these bacteria into two groups, depending upon the two criteria. There are two criteria. First criteria is that their cell involvement differs from one another. And second criteria is that they shows the response towards the Christian Gram staining procedure. Depending upon this, there are the two types of the bacteria. First is the gram positive bacteria, which shows the positive response to the gram staining, and other is the gram negative bacteria, which do not show any positive response towards the gram staining. And the example for the gram positive bacteria is the Bacillus subtilis and Staphylococcus, and the gram negative bacteria examples are the Escherichia coli and Salmonella. Now, glycocalyx, which is the outermost layer, okay, it is the outermost layer, which is called as the glycocalyx. This glycocalyx differs in the composition and thickness among the different bacteria. Okay, the chemical composition of this glycocalyx vary, plus the thickness of this glycocalyx also vary from the bacterium to bacterium. Okay, it could be the loose sheath. Sometimes this glycocalyx layer is the loose sheath like structure. Okay, very loose structure. It's a sheath like structure and loose structure. Then it is called as the slime layer. Okay, while in others it may be thick and tough. Sometimes it's formed the very tough layer and thick layer. Then it is called as the capsule. Okay, so the depending upon the glycocalyx nature, there may be two types of structure which are present in this bacterium. These are two types of structures are called as the slime layer and the capsule. See how we can define the slime layer and the capsule in the bacteria. When the glycocalyx has the very loose sheath, that is it is very thin, then it is called as the slime layer. And if this glycocalyx is very thick and tough, then it is called as the capsule. They possess the cell wall and they provide the strong structural supports and prevent the bacterium from bursting or the collapsing. See what is the function of the cell wall है? Cell wall defines the shape of the cell. जो shape होता है बैक्टीरिया का, वो shape कौन define करता है? It is defined by the cell wall, and it also provides a very strong structural support. The support which is present in the strong structural support which is present in the bacteria is provided by the cell wall, and it also helps the bacteria prevent the bacteria from getting bursting or collapsing. Right? See, bacterial cells may be motile or non-motile. Okay, bacterial cells motile भी हो सकते हैं, non-motile भी हो सकते हैं. That is, they may possess the ability to ability of locomotion, or they may not possess the ability of locomotion. If they possess, they are called as motile, and if they don't possess it, it is called as non-motile. See, if motile, they have the thin filamentous extensions from their cell wall, which are called as the flagella. See, if any kind of bacteria is a motile bacteria, then it must have possessed the flagella, and flagella are the extensions of the cell wall. That the flagellas are the extensions of the cell wall. See, this is the cell wall outside here, and from this cell wall, this is the extension, and this extension is called as the flagellum or the flagella. Those bacteria which possess the motile ability, they possess this ability because of the presence of a special structure which is called as flagella. This flagella is nothing but the extension of the cell wall. Okay, so there is the extension of the cell wall which is called as the flagellum. Now see, the bacteria shows the range in the number and the arrangement of flagella. That is, from bacterium to bacterium, this flagella differs. Sometimes the number differs, sometimes the shape also differs. Okay. Now the bacterial flagellum is actually composed of three parts. Okay, the very first part is the filament, second part is the hook, and third part is the basal body. So the flagellum of the bacteria has the three structures. The first is the filament, second part is the hook, and third part is the basal body. Okay, so the flagellum, you can see here, these are the flagellas. The filament is the largest portion. Okay, yeah, this outside structure actually called as the filament, and this filament structure is the largest structure which is found in this bacterium. Okay, now the filament is the largest portion and it extends from the cell surface to the outside. So whatever the structure which are present outside, this is called as the filament, and at the beginning we have the basal body. After that, at the turning point, we have the hook. Actually, the structure of this filament, it starts like this. It starts from the cell wall. Okay, and from the cell wall it's called as the basal body, and when there is a slight curve in this flagellum, this curve is called as the hook, and then rest of the flagellum is called as the filament. Now beside the flagella, okay, bacteria possess the flagella, that's the one thing, Beside flagella, there are also the pili. You can observe here the pilus. And pili, you can observe there are very large in number as compared to the flagella. Pili are of special function in the bacteria, and these pili are present in the majority of the bacteria. Okay, and fimbriae. Second structure is the fimbriae. Pili and fimbriae, apart from the flagella, are also present as a surface structure in the bacteria, but they do not play any role in the motility. Okay, motility में उनका कोई role नहीं है, but they has a very particular functions in bacteria in which they are present. Okay, just like pili or fimbriae जो होते हैं, they are used for the attachment to the सबस्ट्रेटम पे अटैच होने के लिए इन पिला और फिम्ब्री का क्या होता है, इस्तेमाल होता है, ऑल्दो दे आर नॉट यूज्ड फॉर द मोटिलिटी जस्ट लाइक द फ्लैजेला. सो सरफेस स्ट्रक्चर like flagella, from apart from flagella, the bacterial world also possesses the pili and fimbriae like structure. Okay, pili और fimbriae like structure वहाँ पे होते हैं, और pili और fimbriae functions differently than the flagella. Okay, just like flagella used in the motility, but the pili and fimbriae helps to attach into to the substratum. Now the pili are the elongated tubular structure. You can observe here they are elongated and they are tubular structure. It is made up of the special proteins, while the fimbriae are the small bristle-like structures, like fibers sprouting out of the cell. So pili and fimbriae, both these are also found in the bacteria as a cell surface structure. The pili are the elongated tubular structure, while the fimbriae is a bristle-like structure, and they both help attach to the host cell surface or to the substratum. See, in some bacteria, they are known to help to attach to the bacteria to the rocks. Okay. Now, whenever if the bacteria are present in the steams and there are the rocks around, these pili and fimbriae helps the bacteria to attach to these rocks. Okay, and also to the host tissue. If the bacterium wants to attach to its host tissue, these pili and fimbriae are very helpful because they are help in attaching the bacteria into the host tissue or in the rocks in the steams. Okay, so beside the flagella, what we have is a pili and fimbriae, and pili and fimbriae are the also the surface structure which are found in the bacteria, and these pili and fimbriae helps in the attachment to the substratum, whether it's a rock or it may be the host tissue. Okay.